NEBR ruled the other day that the recession ended last year, but we may be in for another recession, which it won't count as the same recession. But for most people, it still feels like we haven't really, in America at least, got out of that first recession.
What I see going on is easy. What needs to happen is a more difficult question, as you know. What I see going on is what I regard as the new normal, if you will. We've stabilized. We looked into the abyss. We didn't fall into the abyss. Kudos to those who worked 24 hours a day for months and months and months to make sure that didn't happen. The financial system did not collapse. We had a recession. It appears to be over. We have now an economy which is bumping along, and I'll overstate this just to stress the point. It's moving sideways, if you will. It moves up a little, it moves down a little, but it's basically going like this, and may do so for an indefinite period of time.
We were in the cusp of a major project, multi-billion-dollar project in Miami, just as the Obama administration was coming into power at the beginning of 2009. And even during a transition period, when they're still trying to sort things through, they really broke every rule that existed to try to make sure that the project got financed through some of the tools that are available to the federal government. They have consistently been at the forefront on lending programs and credit programs and the kinds of things that states and municipalities need. So our observation from an infrastructure perspective, they've been very effective, and our business is actually pretty good.
One of the things that's nice about being in the academic think tank world is I can think occasionally about the long run, and I find it very scary for the United States. Right, so clearly there are things we need to do to provide additional stimulus to the economy to keep things going. But when you look out 5, 10, 15 years in the future, we're on a trajectory that doesn't work.
We talk about the loss of 6 million jobs. Okay? Well, we've lost 106 million jobs, and we gained 100 million jobs. It's a very dynamic economy, which, if we don't lose our nerve, just as we did in let's say, '82, which I think is a very nice example for where we are right now, we muddled through in the early '80s, and I don't see why it's going to look any different this time.
The problem on the global marketplace is lack of investment. Why? Because global marketplace appeared. It's not anymore 25, 23 developed countries. Now a lot of countries created economic conditions which are welcome foreign investment.
Only a sustainable and balanced recovery will enable us to combine economic growth with measures to tackle other global challenges. The current debate on short-term recovery revolves around whether our vulnerable economies need further stimulus or whether it is time for governments to withdraw because the private sector can once again play its natural role as the engine of economic growth. Opinions on what we should do vary widely. I'm sure that applies to you too, and that's understandable. After all, there's no such thing as one truth or one answer. The differences between countries, or rather between their citizens' behavior, are simply too big. And if you ask me what I think is crucial to make our world, our economies, and our lives more stable, more sustainable, and more dynamic in the future, I can sum up the answer in one word: values. But a successful future demands another fundamental reform, a greater moral awareness, globally, nationally, in business, and among ordinary people.